Ooh, let's play. What's up, guys? Mars here with looks like episode 7 of my Minecraft Let's Play series. Um, how's your day been? This is now Monday, August 11th. I know it's Monday, August 11th because I ran into a bit of a traffic jam or like a little detour earlier today. I could tell that story. I was going to pick up a very good person in my life. I'll put it that way. It was Coda, and on the way to her house, there was a traffic. There was like a little like detour thing. It's like, oh yeah, there's gonna be construction on. I love this. There was a sign, maybe a good quarter of a mile away from where they were doing the construction. It's like construction will start on August 11th. I'm like, okay, I'm good. It's not August 11th. Turns out it was August 11th. So I start driving down. I'm like, okay, this is nice. Because I'm looking down at the map, making sure I don't miss her house. I come to where like the intersection is that I have to go actually through. I actually couldn't go through it because there was a median in the middle. I didn't realize it wasn't lights. It was a terrible situation. I come up to it, and I come over the hill, and I just see construction. Like the whole road is just closed. I just see road closed, road closed. And I'm like, well, goddamn it. So I have to go all the way back around. I have to go around. The road was like Marvin or something. Um, like Marvin Gardens. I'll just use Marvin Gardens. I think that's what it was actually called. Weird. Our town's based on Monopoly. Anyway, um, I had to go all the way back around that street and go on to the next one that actually also went to the same place that the Marvin Gardens went to. For whatever reason, the road led to the same place. I don't know why. There was two different roads and they led to the same place. The other one I had to take was a much more main one. That's probably why that happened. Anyway, um, I had to go all the way around, and of course, I was running a few minutes late because I had to take the detour. So I finally get to her house, and she's kind of standing outside. I was like, "What took you so long?" I was like, "Oh, I had a detour," and then she saw the detour. She was as we were coming up, we get into a whole discussion about apartment complex. That's exactly what they're building. Our town, for whatever reason, the people here like running this town or whatever, they love building apartment complexes. I don't know what it is. Like it gives them a boner or something. They love throwing these up. I actually live in a mass-produced neighborhood where they just kind of shove houses in, and they try to make sure that like, okay, we're gonna have as many houses as humanly possible in this area, and no one can say boo about it because they own the land, and it's incredibly annoying. I now live, a good 10 feet from my neighbor's house. The yard is so small. Yes, it's easy to mow, but on the other hand, you don't have any privacy. You know, we already have our own privacy just because we don't go out that much. We don't go to neighbors' houses. Like we're not really a neighborly family for for whatever reason. Just sort of how that played out. So actually leads to another story. I was going on the regular walk that I go on. When I'm on marching band days, I usually go on a good like hour long or so walk around. You just around the neighborhood a few times, just sort of seeing how things change. I picked that up from reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. Just sort of seeing how things have changed. There was a neighborhood he ran through for about a year before finally deciding to buy a house there, and that actually ended up being one of his biggest deals. Anyway, so I'm walking, I'm just listening to my music. I think I had actually Van Halen's Jump playing at that very particular moment on my tablet. And so just this group of 5 girls, I saw them off of another street, and they just start following me. And I was like, okay, this could either go really good or really bad. They were also younger than me. They were also like, 6th grade, 7th grade, middle school, or something like that. So I'm like, okay, this could go either really good or really bad. And, for whatever reason, I just was not in the mood of talking with them. Like, normally, me being me, I'd flip around and be like, hey, what's up, how's it going? I just wasn't in the mood to do that. So they sort of figured that out. They started playing around a little bit. Like, one of the girls was going right in front of me. She was walking faster. She looked at me as she passed. All the other girls were following her. And so they get to the end of the street and they just stop. They stop at the corner, like where I was gonna turn, like to veer off from where they were going. And they just strike up a conversation. They're like, okay, what's your name, and just all this stuff. And I'm standing there for a good, 5, maybe, yeah, probably about 5 minutes. And I realize it's a group of 5 girls. I'm only one person, so I am not getting out of this situation. And so when I made that realization, I just decided, okay, I have a few other options. I can act like a crazy person. That was not a good idea because they lived in my neighborhood. I probably ran into them again. And they already had my name, so it's kind of screwed there. Um, I don't know why I had this reaction too. Like probably some of you were like shaking your head, just being like, "What an idiot." I don't know why I had this reaction. I just kind of did. I guess I just didn't expect it. You know, I didn't expect to pick up 5 girls while walking around a freaking neighborhood. So that happened, and then they were just sort of saying like, "Okay, so you know, how long have you been here?" I just made conversation. 5 years. I've actually been here a little bit longer. And so I started asking about them, and there was, 5 freaking people. I had to remember a span of about a few seconds. They got really confusing really quickly. So I just continued to talk, and then they started to walk. They were actually walking to the clubhouse. I think I was on a different route, and so when we had to say bye and part ways, one of the girls actually ran up to me. It was just like, "Oh, we don't want you to go. We want you to come to the pool and the playground. Just be like, hey, just hang out for a little bit." I was like, "No, I gotta get back home." And she goes, "Are you scared? Are you scared of what we're gonna do?" And I'm just like, "No, I just don't want to deal with that tonight." And she goes, "Oh, what does that mean?" And I realized I had said the wrong thing because then all the other girls started to get upset because they were like, "Okay, what does that mean? You can't deal with this right now?" And I just sort of said, don't want to do it. Can't make me do it. And that was the mistake. That was the mistake because I had forgotten there was 5 of them and one of me. They tried to drag me to the actual clubhouse. Like the clubhouse was a good like street or something away. They tried to drag me all the way to the clubhouse. They almost did. And right in front of the clubhouse, I'm just like, I just don't want to. I just want to go back home. I was like, okay, just being a little party pooper over here. And I can't even remember the girls' names. That's how insignificant they were to me that night. But again, these are just like 7th graders who just want to troll me a little bit. So I'm like, I want to get out of the situation as fast as possible. Because that's just not my age group anymore. Like, I'm not going to interface with 6th and 7th graders all the time. It just wouldn't work. Um, because it would just be weird. But freaking those kids, okay? Um, so, I got away. I went back home. Like, okay, I can chill out. Chapter 2. I did like a little 2 that you can't see. I ran into them again in pretty much the exact same place. They were like, "Oh, hey, Josh, we met you yesterday." I didn't remember a single one of their names. I completely forgotten they existed until that moment. I was like, "Oh, yeah." And in my mind, I'm thinking, "Oh, god damn it." I wanted to say a swear word, but because this person just watches these videos and likes swear words, that's cool. Um, by the way, I figured out that she's a lot younger than me, actually. It was a bit of an interesting discovery. Her birthday's in about a month and a half. Anyway, that was Kat. So these girls showed up again, and they were just like, "Oh, just going to Clubhouse again. You should come." And I almost did this time. I was almost like, you know what? Screw it. What could they possibly do? I heard on the news a little bit later that there was a party going down at the clubhouse, and the cops had busted the party. And the big 5 people that they always show up people on the screen who are just like, oh, this person was arrested. Those 5 girls were just flashing upon the screen. They were just like, these 5 people have been found intoxicated. They're going to be taken to the nearest like interrogation hall or something. And I just laughed. I was just like, ha ha, you idiots. I heard some girl were like, why are you laughing? This is terrible. I'm just like, those are the people that bothered me. And they're like, oh, okay. Because I had let them in on the story, too, the second I got home. It's like, oh, these 5 kids have been bothering me. Um, and I don't know. It was satisfying to see people who had been bothering me like that end up in jail. I don't know why. It was just really satisfying. I wouldn't say it was satisfying. It was just really ironic because it was like they were so desperately trying to drag me into going to the actual thing that they actually got arrested. So anyway, I am actually really not paying attention to what's going on in the video. I just started chopping trees. I wanted to go explore that cave actually, but I can't. I don't have any torches, so I had to go back and get torches. Good God. Um. So yeah, that's my story. How was your day? How's your weekend? I don't know. I had a pretty amazing weekend. I actually got a major um, milestone for myself, and I actually made a video of me sort of collecting it. It was there's this online game called RuneScape. You guys ever heard of it? I've been playing it for maybe 7 years now. It's been a while. It's been a good run. And yesterday 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, I finally got 99 in my first skill, cooking. So, I made a video of it. That's going to be coming out, I think, either tonight or tomorrow. So I'll just sort of let you guys go see that video for that. But it's not really much of a celebration. I don't have anybody with me. And it's just sort of a quiet time to say, this is how much I've played this game. This is how far I've gotten, etc., etc. So, yeah, I'm going to sleep through the night here. We're going to collect our equipment, and we're going to do a little bit of exploring. We have actually not run into a single mob in this entire thing. Actually, when I was trying to secure myself in the cave, I actually ended up dying, so I had to run back and get my stuff. Kind of crazy. Alright, so we're going to go, and we're going to go dungeoneering. That's actually one of the skills in RuneScape. But no, I do want to talk about it just a little bit more. I think, because I didn't mention any of this in the video, so what the heck? Okay, that's weird. Just like two spiders, like, hey, what's up? I'm going to kill you guys. Oh, there's 3 of them. So I can hopefully get enough string for a bow. Anyway, I had been introduced to that game, I think, the summer of my 5th grade year. I think that's how that worked. Because I had moved from a previous location, previous north location. And that's sort of what I connected with immediately was this online game that someone showed me. The kid's name was Ian. His username was Ami131. I will never forget that. Anyway, him and I became quick friends through the game. We just sort of talked about it. We sort of played a little bit. After that summer, never saw him again. I then made friends with kids in school who also played the game. I don't know, I'm going there. It was really cool to sort of connect with a lot of people through that. We eventually, we were kids. We had no idea what we were doing. We're like, oh, you can have this city. I'll take over this city, and it's insane. Then I met someone else through the game who also had to play the game. I think I mentioned it before, Christian. I'll just sort of refer to him as that. Yeah, that. Me and him have been friends for what seems like forever. It's pretty insane. I've basically been blessed to be able to count him as a friend, essentially. Because he just naturally brightens your day. He's one of those people. Got a lot of coal here. This is Coal City down here. But yeah, it's just he's one of those guys that can brighten your day. So he came over, I think, about a week ago now. No, last Thursday. And we just played Yu-Gi-Oh! And that was another thing that I've really connected with over the course of my life. Yu-Gi-Oh! For me holds, in those cards is sort of the memories of my elementary school years. I also have a huge stack of just Pokemon cards. I've just sort of collected them. I don't really use them for anything. People are just like, hey, do you want these? Like, they'll just hand me, like, 10 Pokemon cards. I'll be like, oh, sure, why the hell not? And then those add up. That's basically what the collection that I have now. And so for me, those 2 card games represent, my elementary school life, essentially. Some of my friends in elementary school, we used to do Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels. And that used to be a thing. And it was Hamid and Gossam, and then some Indian kid that lived across the street from me, and I think Kyle, and that was it. That was our little group. And we used to hang out daily and do that. I think Hamid and Gossam were also people that introduced me to Grand Theft Auto. I think it was San Andreas. To this day, I sometimes miss those memories that we made because they were such good ones. We were perfect. We were not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and we didn't really care. We were just sort of being ourselves, and that was just sort of the beauty of it. I mean, and of course they had sort of their own issues, mental issues and whatnot. And I never found much of an issue, no pun intended, with that, simply because I've always been sort of this very accepting individual. I don't know why. And so, yeah, we made friends. I think I knew their older sister, and then through her older sister, I met the both of them. And it's weird because I've never connected with someone like that since then. I've never met the older sibling, not liked the older sibling, and gone for the younger sibling. I've never done that since then. It was just really interesting that I did. that's sort of the story there. That's why I'm still sort of connected with anime and whatnot in the way that I am, is because my childhood is sort of trapped in there a little bit. I never watched the show, I never watched Yu-Gi-Oh! The show. I've watched a crap ton of Pokemon the show, and I played a lot of the games. But it's just sort of hardwired into who I am a little bit, and it's just sort of me, you know. You always have those weird things that you connect to. That's my weird thing. It's just Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, etc., etc., etc. Sort of a little story, I guess. I don't know if any of that. I don't know if this stuff even interests you guys. So if it does start to get annoying that I get too personal in these videos, do tell me. Comment section and whatnot. So far, people when we spammed it saying that they subscribed and liked my videos even though they didn't, and saying go check out theirs. Leave it, like, if you actually watched this and actually enjoyed it, leave a comment. Just be like, hey, enjoyed it, or just like, hey, connect with you on this, or just whatever you want to say. You can say, hey, you're the piece of shit. Don't say that, but I'm just giving an example. Obviously, I said that before I could censor it. So sorry about that. But yeah, no. Speaking of her, we got a lot of stuff done in Marching Band today. It was sort of a review day. We got stand tune stuff. Hopefully, I can film some of what goes on in the marching band because it is some crazy shenanigans, and they're just little snippets, and that's really what's cool about it. So hopefully I can maybe even be able to film some of the marching band shows that we watch. That'd be really cool as well, and just sort of do like a daily vlog or something. So yeah, I'm gonna try to release a video every day. Okay. That cooking skill cape thing will probably come out tonight or tomorrow. Doesn't really matter to me which. And the schedule, as far as marching band is concerned, for me is pretty lax this week and next week, and then it's school. So yeah, that's gonna be some fun times. It's gonna be a very, very crazy year. Simply because I guess I can't hide this. It is my last year of high school, and that terrifies the hell out of me. I don't want to leave. But if my 8th grade year was any indication, this is going to be this. Like, if my 8th grade year was any indication, this will dwarf anything I've ever experienced. Because my 8th grade year, it was great, but it was better than my 7th and 6th. That's the key point. It was better than my 7th and 6th. So what does that mean for my senior year of high school? It's got to be better than all the rest combined. These past few years were pretty good though. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. I'm really excited. But I'm also not excited because I don't want this year to end. I don't want it to start and I don't want it to end because then it'll be off to college and then the real world. Who knows what's going to happen to me there. It's going to be crazy, it's going to be fun, it's going to be insane, and you guys will be around for the whole ride. That's sort of the best part about it. And I'm glad that I already have a few people with me, but let's get more, let's get... I don't want to say any specific subscriber goals because that would make it sound weird, but, just support is really what I need, guys. And that's what some of you are already given. It's awesome. So on that note, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's stop.